Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Targaye Nicole here. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. Today we're starting a new series on my channel called Talks with Tara. And on this series, we're going to go ahead and interview a few people on YouTube that I know that are up and coming channels or established channels. If you are interested in being one of my guests, don't forget to go ahead and leave me a comment so that we can chat about that, and I'll send you my email and link. My first guest today is my friend in fake life and real life. I haven't met her, but we actually have exchanged numbers and we chat and we're in groups and we've done Bible study together, as you know. And her name is Krystol, and her channel is the Krystol Method. So, Krystol, tell us a little bit about you and your channel, please.
Sure. Well, first I want to say, hey, loves. My name is Krystol of the Krystol Method, and my channel, I have been on a whirlwind regarding my channel. I was a booktube channel, then I was a weight loss channel, a writing channel because I love writing, and now I am focused on finance, mainly personal finance and doing budgeting videos.
Very nice. How long have you had your channel? Do you recall?
Oh, I've had my channel since 2011.
Oh, she's an OG, you guys. She's an
Been a
OG on
while.
here.
It's been a while.
So you said the main focus of your channel right now is budgeting and personal finance for yourself. And I personally know that she does have a book or a planner that she has created. Would you like to let us know all these things? Her channel, any websites, blogs, and information from her will be down below. Krystol just sent me all those links in the text, and so I can add it to the video. And let us know about because did you mention that you wrote books?
Yes, I am an author of about 21 books now. Yeah, I did write a budget journal called Organized Finance. It's a personal budget journal. I have in there just how to get started with the budget, how to organize your finances. I am a Christian, so I have some Christian elements in there as far as like a vision board, having a vision, creating a positive and healthy relationship with money. I ask you questions and give you plenty of writing space to answer them. And yeah, I think it is a great journal for beginners, someone who wants to, organize their finances and get their money right.
And I love that because you guys know I'm super passionate about younger people and beginning finance people because that's where I started. I wasn't young when I started, but I wish I knew all those things.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that Krystol's budgeting journal is in a really, what's the word I'm thinking of? Where it's reasonable price point. So definitely check that out. If you don't know where to start, it might be a good place to start. If you really, really are like, I have no money for anything, remember, start with just pen and paper, y'all. You can get it done. Why did you end up start budgeting? Maybe give us a little bit of your budget story in a nutshell.
Well, I will say for a long time, well, since I was 18 years old, I have been what some people in society call a professional student, meaning I have been in school since I was 18. I don't think I've had a break. I got my associates, my bachelor's, my master's, and I'm all but dissertation for my doctorate, which means student loans, right? And lots of student loans. And the older that I got, I realized this is ridiculous, seeing this amount of money that, I owe. So one of the things that I was trying to do was get a job in the fields that I've gotten my degrees in. To no avail. That still hasn't happened. But at the same time, I'm an adult now. I'm not 18 and naive, and I've learned a lot of things with finance. And now I am taking the approach to pay the loans off. So with paying the loans off, I also had to get real with my finances, with my income and everything like that, because I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was paid on Friday and I was broke Wednesday, which is crazy. You just spend money.
In there, girl. Not judging.
Eating out, buying clothes, spending stuff, prematurely. And I got into Dave Ramsey. And I think that's everyone's starting point, Dave Ramsey, and going through his baby steps and everything like that. And I was just like, wow, I really need to get myself together because I'm tired of not having money. And once you create a starting point for yourself and actually track your finances and see where your money is going, once you categorize your bills and pay just your fixed expenses, the things that are needed to live and, survive, you'll be surprised at how much money you have left over. And
Amen.
yes, and I figured out my number. And when I say number, I mean the amount of money that I need to have every month to just live. I'm talking bare minimum.
4 walls.
Yep. Yeah. Rent, food, utilities, and car insurance if you have a car. If you don't have a car, that's even better because you don't got to worry about paying car insurance or a car note. And once I did that and saw how much I needed to live and saw how much money I actually had left over, I was just like, wow, I could do so much more with this money that I had left over. So that was when sinking funds came into play, different saving accounts, and just really figuring out what I wanted for my life in the future. And back then, I really wasn't worried about my future. I was worried about just the now. I just need to survive for now. And now that I'm older, I'm 36, single, no children. I know I want children one day. Well, if I create this budget and maintain a decent lifestyle with the money that I make now, when I do have kids, I can show my kids how to manage their money. And that way they can get on the train early on, where I didn't have that start at first. So
absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with everything you say. And there is no judgment here and no judgment in my comments either. Y'all already know my people are real ones. We authentic over here. I have a very similar story, not the same, but I understand the whole paycheck to paycheck thing. And the moment I knew that I really arrived was the moment I got a paycheck and did not know the paycheck was coming.
Yep.
I was like, oh, it's payday. Yep. And that was after about a year of budgeting. And I was like, yes. And I'm no longer waiting on this paycheck. I know that things are paid and I know that a paycheck is coming, but I'm not a lot of money. I can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is, I know they say it and everybody knows, but for me, it was 100% true where a lot of my money was going to food and unnecessary things. And although I personally did a lot of budgeting, whatever, getting my finances together a couple of years ago, to me, I couldn't even go straight into sinking funds. So people who, when she's talking about sinking funds, they're basically like saving funds or savings accounts where you put aside money for things that you know are coming up, like car maintenance for your car, like either you need tags, plates, an oil change, or just Christmas is coming up, things like that. That's what she's talking about with sinking funds. But we all, in the beginning, there was a time where even when I did my budget, I couldn't do sinking funds. Nope. So don't be discouraged at all. Do what you can. Put the change in the sinking fund. Do one account that says sinking funds. I used to have one that was called Just Keep Swimming because all I wanted to do was keep my head above water, but I would throw in $10 at it or $5 at it or $1 at it or just 50 cents. Just do something. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And I think a lot of people can relate to that because I surely can. So
the struggle and the struggle is still real. You just learn how to manage the struggle.
Yes, I think that you are always if you are budgeting and growing, your finances and budget will always budget and grow. So you want to continually stay on top of it. You don't want to get to a point where you're comfortable and you feel like this is it. If you come to a point where you're like, oh, I got it down pat, start again. What have you been? For me this year, it's going to be investing. When I just did a video with all my 5 saving challenges. And I said I was going to take the 0 out challenge money and put it as a general savings to myself. And I've changed my mind on there already. I'm going to be putting that to investing. And so I'm going to download either the Robinhood app, the Acorn app, one of them. And I'm like, you just need to keep moving forward. So don't ever get comfortable. If you feel like you don't have enough money, find a side hustle. That's what I did. I had to start Poshmark. I used to do Instacart. I did Shipped. Listen, there are things you can do, especially if you know how to, if you like to drive or know how to drive, you can make it work. Okay, so let's back to Krystol. Do you have any short-term goals and long-term goals financially that you'd like to share with us? One, it's fine.
Well, short term, I would say within the upcoming year, I do want to start a business. It is going to be called the Krystol Method.
I love that name.
What else with this business? I'm still trying to figure it out. One of the things that I really want to do is to create a planner, a physical planner. And I'm a writer at heart, and finance is my new love. So in my planner, I want to incorporate both writing and budgeting, personal finance. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that started. As far as long-term goals, right now, I will say just save money towards a house. I still don't know, honestly, where I want to live. I do reside in the state of Delaware right now, but I am thinking about going down south. I don't know if that's where God leads me. We're just going to see, but that's definitely something long term. This year, I was gung-ho on buying a house here in Delaware. And, at the time, my credit score was, where it needed to be. I had the money saved, but I just wasn't finding what I was looking for in a house. And with the pre-approval rate that I had, the houses were not what I wanted. So what I had to do was pay more debt off, right? In order to get my score as high as it can be, so that way I can get the house that I want. And I'm still go ahead.
So I'm sorry. So was the score the issue, or was it your debt to income ratio that became the issue?
It was a little bit of both. So the debt to income, okay, so I will put it out there. I don't have a problem. You don't
have to share anything you don't want to share.
Yeah. It's gotta be real, right? I gotta give it to you guys. I was $222,000 in debt, right? That was my debt number. And my credit score was about 667. So with that, I was only approved for $150,000 for a home.
What did you say your debt to income ratio was? Number? What did you say?
150,000.
Okay. No, that was 150,000 is what you got approved for, right?
Oh, my debt was 222,000. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hustled and bustled and ended up paying off $11,000 this year, which I'm so
amazing.
Proud of.
And you should be. Some people can't even save $1,100. Give me $1,100.
I can't believe I did.
I could be buying my house.
I was like, I can't believe I did it. Like, God is so good. Man. And seeing that number drop, it was just like, wow. But now I want to continue to get it down so that I can be, my pre-approval rate can increase. So that's the long term.
That's a long-term goal. Okay, I like that. So anyone who's watching, what we're talking about when we talk about debt to income ratio is basically when a lender goes to approve you for a mortgage, they usually look at how much debt you have. So and they include student loans. If your student loans are not being paid, they're taking 1% of that full amount. Mm-hmm. So that could be a lot. Like if what is it, 100,000, then it would be what?
We could use my number. We can use my number, 222,000.
If it's 222,000 and you take 1% of that, it's going to show her as having $2,220 $2,220 versus what she's making. So that does not equal out as higher percentage, because normally I believe, don't quote me on this, that the DT, they want you to have less than like 40% DTE, or else it lowers how much money they can give you. Whereas someone like me who only has $25,000 in like student loan debt and no other debt, that only adds $250 to my DTI versus the $2,200 I make per month. So I'm going to be approved probably for a little bit more, not as much because I don't make a lot of money, but I would never spend what they approved me for. I would still want to do 20 or 30% less than that, because they're doing it on the gross and not the net. I hope I didn't say that backwards. The one before, they're doing it on the one before the taxes are taken out, and I'm doing it on the one after the taxes are taken out.
And with that, even with my pre-approval rate was at 150. There were houses that I could have bought.
They just weren't the ones you
for
wanted.
that amount, but it wasn't in, I'll be honest, it wasn't in a safe area that I thought, I'm buying this house by myself. I don't have anyone that's going to be with me as of yet. So, I put that into consideration. The distance for work, I put into consideration, and just the overall look of the house. And my pre-approval rate, I didn't have enough to get a house built. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm glad that I came as far as I did. So now I see that I'm not as ready as I thought I was.
This is why people, it is very, sorry to cut you, Krystol. I'm changing this to Real Talk with Tara, because I love this. Thank you for being transparent and honest. Piggybacking off what she's saying is that, that's why it's a good idea, and why you have actually now talked me into talking to a lender earlier, probably around February, when I really want to start looking, because you have to find that balance, because you really can think you're ready to buy a home and you might not be. And the only way to find out is if you speak to a lender, a mortgage broker, or someone who can give you that money. And the best thing to do is speak to 2 or 3 at the same time. Yes, it is going to hit your credit, and you lose, they say, about 3 to 5 points. However, keep in mind that you have 45 days to get to speak to all these people, and it only hits your credit once. So if you speak to 3 different mortgage lenders, it only shows as that one-time hit for over 45 days. So you could talk to 10 of them in 45 days. It'll only hit your credit once, and it will go back up 2 to 3 points. And that's a little more understanding, because when they're looking at it, they see the points were their fault, basically. So it's not a big deal. But you could just be living in oblivious thinking that you can buy a home when you really cannot. So unless you know for sure you don't have anything on your credit is amazing, you make a decent amount of money, and you have your down payments and you're ready, call the mortgage loan, take the little hit, and just find out your numbers, guys. Because do not go and check out houses that you think you can afford. It will break your heart. You will go and look at a $225,000 house, fall in love, and then call the mortgage broker, and they're gonna say, "Ma'am, you can only afford $170,000." And just save yourself the heartbreak. Just wanted to interject that in there.
And to in addition to what you said, one of the things that I decided to do was to go through the motions as if I was actually about to purchase a home. Like, I looked at maybe 4 different homes. I looked through 4 different homes. If you go on my channel, you'll see I did video the homes that I looked at. And one of the things with your real estate agent, be careful of this. Some of them don't really care about your vision for your home. They will try and sell you on what they know you can afford, even if it's in a bad neighborhood or a neighborhood that doesn't seem so safe, because they want that commission.
Absolutely.
And the real estate agent that I had went to, I was like, oh, I really don't like this area. One of the things that I did, once I got the address of the house that I was looking at, I drove by there at night just to see what it was like. And I went there during the day. I did not like what I saw both times, but I still looked at the house because I booked the appointment to look at the house. So looking in the house, I was like, oh, this just is not it.
The area. And that's a very good, That's very good, you guys. That is something I plan on doing when I go to look for houses.
Mhm.
If they give me the address, I'm running by there in morning, noon, and night if
Yep.
possible, because you get a better idea of the area. Girl, y'all might think I'm a creep stalker. I will be out there just watching. Okay, because I have to live here. That is
Yep.
a long-term investment. And when I
Yep.
buy a home, I plan on being there for a while, maybe
Absolutely.
forever, because it's just me. So I think that's a great tip that she just said, and I just keep tuned, guys. Stay tuned because I am actually planning on. I have the questions all written out. I think, found my mortgage. Not my mortgage, my real estate agent, and
Yep.
it was out of 3 people, and I have some questions. Like I had some questions. I called her up and asked her if she had some time, and I had a list of questions, and one of them, speaking on what you were talking about, was, you know, how many clients do you have? Because on one end, if they only have one or two, that's a little troubling because in my mind, you're relying on my sale to give you your only
Mhm.
paycheck, or you
That
me and
part.
someone, right?
That part.
And a lot is okay if they have a team. And I'm very selfish. I don't want you to have a team that's going to send me out onto looking at bookings with someone else. I want to look with you because you're the person I vibe with. You're the person I talk to. You're the person I chatted with. And so it was very clear that she did all her viewings and things like that, unless she was sick or something like. So things like that were questions. And I'll have a whole list for you guys. So that video is coming, but it's very, very important to make sure you have a good relationship with your real estate agent. They are the one you're going to be dealing with all the time. And
Mhm.
if you feel like, and the whole time I have contacted her months back and her team reached out to me to find out where I was. Y'all, I ain't even ready to look for a house. She spoke to me for over 30 to 45 minutes to do my questionnaire, and I didn't ready to buy a house. We don't have a contract. She didn't need to do that. There were other people I contacted that I felt rushed off the phone, that they were too busy, and that I contacted and asked to send me houses, and they still haven't seen one. So out of it, and her husband is a pastor. So I think for me, that's a win. She seems super nice, and her reviews on Zillow is a 5-star.
That's
So I will tell you guys a
awesome.
little bit more, but just to say, it is very important because you want someone who cares about what you want as well and
Not
can guide.
only that, you want someone when they're showing you a house. This was the question that I asked the lady when we were looking at the house. We looked at it and everything, and I'm just like, no, this isn't it. She was like, "Do you like it? You want me to put in? You want to put in an offer?" And I'm like, "Would you live here?" And she got quiet.
Yeah, no.
And she was like, "This is a nice." Then she's like, "Oh, well, this is a nice house." I said, "It's a nice house, but would you live here?" And she couldn't give me a yes or no answer. And I was just like, "It's time to go. Thank you, but no thanks. We're not. We're not."
Exactly. So yeah, that's a good thing. Now we went into house hunting and stuff. So let's get back on track. We did short-term, long-term goals, and those were great goals, I think, and well worth working on. Anything would be great. It's your life. You got to do what works for you.
Mhm.
So, is there any project or anything you're currently working on? Would that be the planner you advised us about that you're currently working on right now?
I'm doing research on this planner. If I'm being honest, I'm a little frustrated because of the findings of research, but I'm going to take a different approach. I won't say what that is.
Okay.
However, my goal is to get back into finishing a book that I started. It's called It Was the Thought of Him for Me.
I loved it.
Thank you. And it is about a Christian girl who's raised in the church, and she's trying to find her way being in the world, to not be of the world. And it's a cute little love story, I'll say. So I'm definitely gonna try and get my mind together to focus on that, because if I'm not motivated to write, I won't write at all. But once it hits me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
can.
because you were on a roll there for a minute
I
because she had
was.
the book she referenced. She was reading us parts of it, and I was all in, and then all of a sudden she just stopped, which I don't really appreciate. But I kind of appreciate because I'm like, I want to be able to buy it and support you, and I don't want to know the whole story. But I know her personally, and I know she hasn't been writing it So I'm gonna need you to get back on it, ma'am.
Yes,
So those are your goals. And I want to say that I really am interested to see where you go with this planner, because I think it would be a nice idea to have a planner where you had your planner budget information, but also had somewhere that would have like a writing portion, which would be your journaling or your gratitude journal, and how you felt about where you are in your money goals, and to something to check in on a regular basis than having it in two different spots. So if this is, I don't know if that's where you're going with it, but if it's sort of like that, I like it. But I'm sure whatever you come up with will be amazing.
Thank you.
Welcome. So can you tell us three, I know you've done these, so can you give us 2 to 3 of your financial goals for 2021? Happy 2021, y'all. Like, word, this video is going up in 2021. Happy 2021.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. And we spelling that WON. WON, not ONE, because you know what? We winning. Hashtag winning in 2021. It doesn't matter what comes at you. That is what 2020 has taught us. It is not about these materialistic things. It's about who you are as a person, and being a servant and serving others and doing the best that you can with what you have, because God gives you exactly what you need. So don't
do it.
Amen. Don't bury it. Don't bury it. Make sure you're using exactly what you got. It will get you exactly where you need to be. And 2021, we are hashtag winning with 2020 WON, baby. 2021. Yes. So back to you. I don't know. It just hit me that was it was weird. We'd be probably launching this in the new year.
So the finance goals, I have them written down. That's why you see me like the finance goals for 2021 is to find another job. So I'm gonna give a little disclaimer.
Yes. So why are you looking for another job? Would you like?
I'm looking for another job because I have anxiety, and my current position is extremely stressful and has caused me a little grief. And I'm like, okay, it's time to go. With my current role, you know, we've had meetings if I could be transferred or just to be in a better space, to no avail. That those are not options within the company. So looking for another job. I don't mind if it's in finance, as long as it is a way where I'm not micromanaged. And I know that might seem a little far-fetched because a lot of finance jobs, you know, they kind of want to keep up on you to make sure that things are done.
Not all of them. Not all of them. I have definitely worked majority of my finance jobs, but you do a different type of finance, and I'm accounts payable. She does more like financial management. So maybe they're a little bit more, but I feel like there's certain people that just, if you're doing a great job, they will let you do your thing. And then if they find that you're slipping, then they'll reach in there. And some people just do micromanage, which is not cool. And I do want to point out, remember guys, she's saying that she did reach out to these people to try and make her situation better, but they disregarded her needs, and hence why she's looking for another job. So don't immediately, when you're feeling some type of way, make sure you talk to those in charge to see if there's some way to handle it, get moved, get a little more assistance, figure out what, you know, notate, document everything so that you can go to them with real tangible information, because if you just go with nothing, they're just not going to take you seriously. But if you find that you've gone and you tried and they're really not, then you might be in the same situation as Krystol and having to do other things.
Yeah, and we've been through a lot of meetings, and one thing about me, I am not timid. I'm very assertive and I'm very direct. So as soon as something is not sitting right with me, I bring it up to who I need to right away. That can be intimidating to some employers. And I've heard some people say like, oh, don't be the angry Black woman. And it's like, you know, what? That's not the case at all. Just because I'm kind of, I guess, debating or going back and forth as to why things should be better for me. And, it's just better for the development, of my position. Nonetheless, looking for a new job.
Okay.
The second one is saving $15,000. Pray for me. But I think it will happen.
You could do it. You could do it.
Yes. Be consistent with saving.
I am abundant. I am receiving all things. I am vibrating on a highest level. Money comes to me. We shall get this done. Okay? You can get that $15,000. It is not just by saying, it is not just by praying. God help those who help themselves figure it out.
We're going to give.
We're
going to give. And let me just give you all this quick little nugget. I watched a sermon this morning from Pastor Michael Todd. And he said, forgive who you need to forgive. Forgive who you need to forgive so that you can have a future that is unlimited. And what I took from that was to forgive this employer that I am having this slight battle with, so that way I can be, unlimited with anything that I want to do moving forward with another position, whether it's with the same company or with a different company. I just wanted to put that out there.
I like it.
Thanks. Also, this might sound silly, but always stuff my sinking funds.
Is that your third goal? No, it doesn't sound silly to me because I follow your channel. And Krystol has this thing where she will start sinking funds and all of a sudden, like, I need to pay off debt.
And be like, no, I need to pay off debt, or I'm just going to put all the money in my emergency fund. No. The sinking funds.
And you know what? Honestly, people, let's be real. It could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what the situation is. Sinking funds are there for a reason. If you feel like you're going to be one of those people who need to have these emergency, but maybe you have a sinking fund for debt, okay? Maybe you have a sinking fund for miscellaneous so that you don't have to touch your other sinking funds. However, when I moved, I adjusted my sinking funds and had to get rid of a few here and there, but I still kept the ones that I thought were major to me. Just completely think it out. Use the 24 to 48 hours rules where you stop, pause, and you think about it for a while. And that is why you have an emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund, then you probably shouldn't be worried about sinking funds. You need to start your emergency fund first so that your sinking funds can roll in without you having to worry about an emergency hitting or something like that. Now, it's absolutely fine to readjust your goals each quarter, each day, each year, whenever you find it at some point she thought she was going to go buy a home before she figured everything out. So then she was like, oh, I got to put all the money to debt. So she had a goal in mind as to why she did it. Just try to be as consistent as possible, but things happen and things change. So there's definitely no judgment here on that. If that is a goal you have for this year, then just set yourself up for success. Make sure they are actually attainable goals, realistic sinking funds, nothing that's going to take too much money in each category where you can't maneuver and shift if something else happens.
Absolutely. And one of the things that actually helped me was that I have 2 emergency funds. I have one in my account and I have an emergency fund at home. And it's the emergency fund at home is like a sinking fund. I put money into it every pay. So when an emergency happens, that's the first emergency fund that I go to so that I don't need to touch the main emergency fund that is in the account.
Yeah, this is smart. And I just want to say that emergency fund, you guys, if you make under $20,000, $500 is what's recommended. If you make over that, 1,000 is recommended. But let me tell y'all right now. I know that's what Dave Ramsey said, and I could take some of the stuff he said, but y'all, it ain't enough.
It ain't enough.
Okay? I think you need approximately $500 to $1,000 per person in your household. And that's still not like for me.
3 to 6 months of expenses.
I have $1,000 and I'm going to feel more comfortable when I have 2. And if I own a home, I need a separate one. I just need to feel more comfortable. And when you're done paying with debt, get your debt paid off, because then money will come back to you after your debt is paid off. But then try and beef your sinking fund even more. Because once I find this house, y'all, all this money, extra money, well, I won't have the same extra money because I'll be paying a mortgage, but any other extra money will be going to beef up. I'm doing it backwards in the Dave Ramsey way, because Dave Ramsey would say to put my 3 to 6 month emergency savings fund first and then buy a home. But y'all, I'm not saying home that long. I'm sorry. Jesus is God. My house is amazing and my parents are amazing and I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be here. But I want my own space back ASAP. So I will start saving for that. If that means getting a second job or starting up my Poshmark store, I will get it to the 3 to 6 months bare minimum of the, once I know what the mortgage is, then I can start saving all that. But it is important. Get your emergency savings together, people. Before I had an emergency savings, I felt like I could not save. And it was true, because every time I would save some money, I had to use that in an emergency. And then once I had my emergency fund, a few emergencies hit. But after a while, it was like it settled down. It was like, oh, she's already prepared. We don't even want to mess with her no more.
Once you become consistent, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, my word for 2021.
I was gonna ask you that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so hit it. Wait, no, tell us.
My word
your last
2021 is consistency, and my phrase for 2021 is to have impeccable joy throughout everything that is going on.
I love it.
And with that, I will be honest with you guys. The only thing that
real talk with Tara, please be honest.
Yes. The only thing that I have consistent with is budgeting. Every paycheck, I have that budget ready. I know what's going in my cash envelopes because that's the way that I, distribute my money. I know what's going in my sinking funds, right? Mm-hmm. And it's my way of life now. Every time I get paid, I know, okay, I need to write it out and I need to do it. And then I need to film it to help other people see what I'm doing with my money. And my money has changed. I'm going to, I guess, share a bit of a testimony, if you will. May of 2020, I was making $33,000 a year. Starting in June of 2020, when I got this position, my income increased to $65,000.
Doubled her income, y'all, pretty much.
Doubled my income, which made me be able to, of course, save more. I still kept the same budget. I was able to save more. I was able to have more money in my emergency fund, and I was able to pay that $11,000 of debt. With doing that. So
right. So she did not listen carefully. All those who are new, she did not say, "Oh wow, I've doubled my money. Let me double my expenses. Let me double everything I want to. Let me go buy some stuff." She acted like she was on her same thing. She might have added more to her envelopes and sinking funds, but that was because they were part of her savings plan. That is important. When you get raises, pretend they're not there and add them to savings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just a tip. Just a what do they call it?
A little nugget.
A little tip. I can't remember the right name I'm trying to think of because my brain don't want to work no more. But that.
Moving forward with 2021, what I am going to do, because I've done it already, right? I am going to attempt to live off of the $33,000 that I was making in May and save the rest of the money. That's the goal.
I think that's doable.
Absolutely.
If you were doing it before,
because I did it in May, and I was doing it, for however long I was with that position.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
The key is to keep your expenses low. Like I said,
nowhere. You in the same place. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Now, if you had moved or you were paying a mortgage, that might be a little more difficult unless you kept your mortgage the same or it's lower. But like absolutely doable. God, can I get a raise? Mm-hmm. But Krystal does Tide. So
I do tithe.
Thing we ought to add in there.
I do tithe my 10%. And that is a personal choice. I guess I'll say the 10% with tithing is from the Old Testament of the Bible. The New Testament is to just be a cheerful giver. You know, if you're Christian or whatever religion you follow and you want to give, just give from your heart. Don't expect to necessarily get something in return, but when you do, it is a blessing. And it doesn't have to be of monetary value. Somebody can give you a piece of advice that can set you up in the next 6 months with, you know, a business or something that can be lucrative for you.
Wisdom is definitely something you should always be on the lookout for, because it's something you should be searching for. Wisdom is better than riches and gold. It says that in the Bible. I'm not making that stuff up. Okay.
Yeah.
And I will say a little thing that I am a redefined TV girl. Like, I'm baby Christian status, but I'm a redefined TV girl. And he says that a God blesses me so I can bless you, and God blesses you so you can bless them. No, God blesses me so I can bless you. You bless them so they can bless. I don't know. It wasn't. I'ma find it, but or I'll write it in the description. But he had to sing it or something. God blesses me so I can bless you. You bless. God blesses you so you can bless them. Something like that. But I love it. I'm like, when you get blessings, what happens is he's throwing them. God throwing them at you, right? And you're trying to catch them, But if you keep trying to hold them, eventually you can't catch them anymore. So if you were catching them and throwing them back to somebody else, you would have enough room to receive more. So remember, when you get blessings, bless somebody else. And when they get blessings, they should continue to bless somebody else.
And I mean, you can give by just paying it forward. If you're in a fast food line, you can pay for the person next to you, even if they're only getting $1 coffee, just for you paying for them. You know what I mean? It's blessing them. What if that was their last dollar that they were using? You know what I mean? Like, now they still have it, you know? So
yeah, and if you're open to it in your mind, it will come to you in the weirdest moments in time. Like, wait till y'all see what I plan on doing for giving for 2021.
We are abundant.
I am ready, okay, for 2021. It's not like Tara, but it's not the same. But where I'm going with it, though, it's gonna. Yeah, okay. But y'all gonna wait for the January budget for that one. Let's continue. What were you saying?
My goal is to pay somebody's rent in 2021 for 1 month.
That would be amazing. I have had that thought where I was like, oh, it would be so nice to pay my parents' mortgage at least 1 year. But I'm not really sure if I'm there yet. But one day, and I wanted to share, since you shared your word of the year, and it did not do a video, but I might just say it here. My word was consistency last year, and I was very consistent with my budget and very consistent with a few things. And then I fell off when it came to the health part, which I need to get back on.
Yeah, girl.
But my word for the year is actually discipline.
Yes.
I feel for me, a lot of things I can somewhat do consistently, but not disciplined while doing it. Like, I want to be able to do it when I don't want to do it. I need to be disciplined to stay on the right track. I think discipline and consistency almost work hand in hand. So once I get control of one, the next thing is control the other, so I can yin yang it together. And my statement for the year is actually, I will have consistent discipline and practice patience and radical gentleness with myself in the process. That is my statement of the year. So I love that you shared that with us. I forgot what, girl, we just go left. What else? Did you give me your third financial goal?
Yeah, I gave you like 5.
Oh, okay. I only heard 3. I only heard 2. I heard the, paying
Find another job.
The 15,000, finding a job, and what was the other one? Because I felt like you gave me a testimony in the middle of that.
Always enough the sinking funds.
Always stuff. Okay, that's sweet. These interviews are gonna go left real quick. Okay, clearly. I'm like 30 minutes. We're gonna do this in 30 minutes. Not
girl, it's
relative information.
Yes.
So was there anything else you have to say until I ask your next question? The next segment. The next segment is gonna be more personal questions, and there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 of them. Okay, so getting into personal life, personal finance, we know that you are 36 in Delaware. From what you told us, 36 in Delaware and single. So the first question was your marital status, and you are single. She's single and ready to mingle, y'all.
Single as
Just
a
make
dollar
sure.
bill.
Single as a dollar bill, but worth much more. Priceless at that. And if you're interested, her information will be in the box. However, please be
Right?
stay sanitified and ready to serve, or need not apply. Thank you. Now, number B on my list. How would you feel if a man said he could not take you on a date because it was not in his budget, but he was willing to reschedule?
That's the end of the question.
Till another, like next week.
I think I would fall in love from that. Like me being who I am and how I deal with finances, the fact that it shows a couple things. It shows his character, for one. Number two, the fact that he wants to create something really nice for me, knowing he doesn't have the money to do that at this time, and that he wants to build up and be able to create that experience for me, says a whole lot. I have been on dates where, men have wanted to take me to McDonald's or just not put any effort into it. And for someone to say that they can't do it right now, but we can do it on this day, you still are putting me first because it's kind of like a Band-Aid in a sense. You took it off, it hurt for a little bit, but after a while it feels better because we're still going to do whatever you had planned. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with that. If anyone cares, if someone says to me they can't go somewhere due to their budget and they're willing to like maybe rebudget so we can go that place next time, especially with something I chose, or if they're willing to go somewhere different that does fit into their budget so we can spend some time, that is an A+ for me. First of all, I'm impressed that you have a budget. Where have you been?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait, what? Because that's my thing. So that's another thing that we will connect with.
Let's talk about it.
Yes. Let's
have a budget date. I'm okay with this. What is
your budget? YouTube, but how do you do your budget? This is how I do mine,
Right. Or what is your budget for dates? Let's make it a contest where we go and research what date we can be on and whoever comes up with the best date, we go on that date type thing. Like I would be impressed that you have a budget, because a lot of times when I mention to men who are they're like, not really. I just kind of have it in my head. Well, I'm not really a spender. I'm a saver. Do you have a budget?
Right.
So for me, just having a budget would have been amazing. All right. So the next question is, well, who do you think should handle the finances in a relationship?
Am I married or am I just dating?
Married.
I'm married?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. That assertive and not that direct for me. Oh, all right.
Come on. Real talk. Who do you think should do it? And do you think there should be singular or shared or both accounts? Singular, joint, or both? Yeah.
If I'm married, my husband is a Christian like I am. So we are coming as one.
Mm-hmm.
The accounts have to be as one. But I believe marriage is about give and take, and it also is about compromise. I will want both of us to do the finances together so we could see where our money is and what we both choose to do with what.
Okay. All right. So my answer to that question, which I'm probably only going to have to do this once because the questions I'm probably asking everybody, because everybody has different answers. So I only have to answer this once. So hopefully the next episode won't be as long. The answer to my question is, I think that both people need to do the budget. I think we need to have budget meetings. I think that we come together. I think whoever is best with money is the one that may monitor the budget, which probably would be me. Whoever knows, you
It'll
never
be
know.
me
I
too.
might be Anthony O'Neill. Who knows? He might be better than I am. I just know for me right now, it's
Oh,
usually me. So,
if my husband is Anthony O'Neill, baby, we're gonna have to share, boo. We're gonna have to.
we can figure it out together, right?
Yeah.
So we're still gonna have budgeting meeting. We should have them on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. However, times I do my paycheck to paycheck, we need to be sitting down. It don't take nothing but 30 minutes, babe. And we can make it a date night. We can do a pre-date night. It could be whatever. But I think both people need to have input because both people need to know where the money is going. I've seen it in personal lives of people I know where they have no idea where the other person is spending money, and then it's not cool. It causes fights, and finances is one of the top reasons people divorce. So I do feel like it's very important for people to sit down once a month, twice a month, every week, whatever works best for everybody's schedule, and figure out their budgets. And everyone, and personally, I know I'm baby Christian, but I want one joint account and then I want singular accounts. But singular accounts will be more like what you do with your allowance.
Your allowance.
We're all going to get our own allowance, and what you do with your allowance goes there and there. I don't want you spending your allowance on the house or something, unless that's what you felt called to do. That's fine, but we have a joint account for things like that and sinking funds together and all that. And no one is allowed to touch or move any money from the joint account without the other person's knowledge, because that's where problems start. But that's how I personally would do it. Unless, I was gonna say unless my partner's just trash with money, I still think they need to know what's going on with the money.
With that,
they can grow into that. So
I don't want to, I guess, not choose a man, but I don't want to date someone that's trash with money. And if he is not good with money, I want to teach him.
Be willing to learn. And I don't want to teach you saying I'm gonna teach you. I want you to kind of be like, I'm interested in knowing, or I see how you're doing your budget. I would like to know how to do my budget like that. And to be open, because no one is going to change because I want them to change. They're only going to change when they want to change. And that's with every and anything. So if they are open to it, then I totally agree. Like, let's get on the same page. Let's get these debts paid off. Let's save this money. Let's get this house, or whatever we're doing as a married couple. But we wouldn't get to married if you really wasn't into budgeting like that.
Exactly.
That's a major part of my life.
Because with marital or premarital counseling, before you get married, like that is one of the biggest things that they're going to talk about.
I don't know that, but I guess that is one of the biggest things.
One of the biggest things, and I don't want to be, I guess, in the dark or not be prepared.
Right. Or even talking about it, because I feel like it's important that you're budgeting with your spouse even before you're married. To the point, not like if you're my boyfriend, girlfriend, but if you live together, if that's a choice you make and you live together and both of you have income, I think you should be budgeting together. Once you are engaged, you should, whether you live together or not, I feel like you should still be budgeting together. And then once you're married, you definitely should be budgeting together.
Absolutely.
So if you could do one thing different financially, what would it have been?
Oh, God. I don't have any regrets with my life choices as of late. But if I could do something different, honestly, and I don't want you guys to judge me for this, this is just Krystol's opinion, I would not have gone to college and taken out student loans.
I'm not judging you. That's my answer.
I would have, if I didn't have the money, and I didn't have the money. I was 18 and poor, I didn't have the money. I probably would have tried to get a trade or something like that. I won't say I wouldn't have gone to college. Maybe I wouldn't have, but I definitely wish I did not take out, student loans, because when I was 18 and, I actually got a full scholarship for my associate's degree. And that was in human services. And then when I went for my bachelor's, that was when the ish hit the fan, when it was time to get them student loans to, pay for the rest of my schooling. And I wasn't getting jobs in the field of what I had the degree in. So when I wasn't getting a job in the field, I'm like, okay, well, I'll get my master's in this. Wasn't getting a job in that. Okay, well, now I'll get my doctorate in this. Now that I have that and still can't find a job in that, it's just like, well, now what? Now you just
Yeah,
gotta
understood.
survive. But I will say, aside with that, to those that are thinking about going back to school, or if you are 18 and you are, thinking about going to college, even if you do get student loans, pick a field that is going to kind of set you up for success in the long run, whether it is in finance, nursing, business, something that can take you far. If I knew then what I know now, I've always had the gift of writing, but I had books published before I got my master's in creative writing. So now it makes me question, well, did I really need the degree in writing if I was already like a writer? I think that's just a gift that God just blessed me with. Um, so yeah, I just don't I don't
Okay.
think I would have gotten the student loans because I
Okay.
wouldn't have debt.
Right.
That's the only
So
debt I have.
I think my answer to the question, what would I have done for different financially? So that for me is a little bit harder because my situation was a little different.
Mhm,
I got accepted to lots of great schools like
mhm.
Spelman and Princeton, all the good stuff, right?
Nice.
Howard, yeah. And I did not go there because I have a sister who's around the same age as me, and we were starting college at the same time.
Oh.
And the only school she got accepted to was Bloomfield College, where we both ended up going to. And because I have always been, which is another whole entire video of why I think I don't know who I am all the way, is because I've always
Mm,
done things to make other people happy. And when my parents wanted
mhm,
something, that is what I did. I lived my life the way they wanted me to live it, not the way that I would have. I'm not sure I even knew how to think for myself at that point. So,
mhm.
and I was about to be in college. So I did what was best for the family and went somewhere where both of us could get in. And unfortunately, by year one, she was pregnant and she dropped out. So, and I love my nephew, but that was the story. Um, I would have went to a technical school and did accounting, if I could have done it all over again, but it's a hit or miss for me because I think for me, God works things out exactly the way they're supposed to because my very
Mhm.
best friend for over 20 years, I met at that school, and had I not gone to that school, I might have not met her. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I would have met her somewhere else, but maybe not then and maybe not for as long, and I would not take that back to save my life. Now, I
Oh.
did have a relationship, um, and maybe no, I love her. No, so I did have a relationship right out of college that I probably could have done without that messed up my credit. I wish I had taken courses on financial stability or read more books earlier about financial stability. That is one thing I would have done at an earlier age. My
Mhm.
credit was like whatever. At the time when I was 21, it was like 700 with the top, and I had 700. Like it was bomb.
Yeah.
Like, but that's because I had no kind of financial knowledge. So my
Mhm.
parents kind of took care of it forever and then handed off the card. And we had no financial knowledge because my sister blew right through hers. I did not. I was always more of a saver until I met my first, or second boyfriend that I ended up living with. And then we were putting stuff on my card, and I was getting like $3,000 credit cards, and
Mm.
I totally messed up my credit. And for that, I would take it back. Would I have this channel now? No. So there's like a lot
Right.
of things like, would I be working on it? Would I have met all you wonderful people? Probably not, because my credit would have been A1 and I wouldn't need this channel, you know? So
Right.
there are things that I could say I wish I had known, but would I go back and change it? Probably not, because I feel like it just turned out the way it was supposed to turn out.
Mhm.
I just wish I had known better. Or maybe I just wish I knew a little bit more better about finances at an earlier
Oh,
age.
yeah,
And that was
absolutely.
where it was. And I would have saved my money on college and just went to a technical school and not
Yeah.
had as much debt, maybe. Because
Mhm.
I only have 25,000 because I got a scholarship. So I didn't have to pay for all of the years of college.
Mm.
So the last thing, which I don't have to answer, thank God, is what advice would you give to a new budgeter?
Ooh.
Top advice.
Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some patience. You're gonna mess up the first few times. It's just gonna happen. You might not track as much, or
Watch my video.
you might do
Struggle
too
bus.
much in one category and not enough in another. Especially if you are using cash envelopes. You might take from different envelopes to get what you want that isn't actually in that category. I've been there.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
I was even tracking them things. I was like, forget it.
Take your time. It's going to be trial and error. But if you mess up one paycheck, you got another paycheck coming. Stay consistent. Look to see where you went wrong. Look at other people's journeys, right? And see how they are writing out their budgets. Maybe your way isn't working for you, but seeing somebody else do something totally different is. Although a lot of us that have been budgeting for a few years, because we've gotten used to it and have done it for a long time, we don't necessarily follow the Dave Ramsey way to the core. But if that is a starting point for you, follow his step by step. Like when people are disciplined and they do his 7 baby steps, step by step, they are successful. There are a lot of people that are successful with it, but it does take discipline. And also,
I said one thing. She about to be on 3 things. Lord Jesus.
I know. One more. That's the last thing. Let your circle know that you are beginning to budget. And if they don't respect what you're doing, evaluate and see if they even need to be in your circle. Because at the end of the day, it is about you being happy with what you are trying to do for your life to elevate to your highest self. If your friend's like, girl, let's go on this vacation. Oh, it's not in my budget. I can't afford it. Well, just put it on a credit card, or you can go, or girl, budget when we come back. Those are trigger words for me. Those are trigger phrases. Like,
did you hear me the first time?
Yeah. Are you really for me or not? Because this is important to me. This is what's going to, elevate me and make me better. And because you're not supporting me, that shows, in my opinion, just my opinion, that shows you're not really on board with what I'm trying to do with my life. So do you really support me, or are you just selfish?
I think for that, so I love all of your tips, all her 3 million tips. They're all great tips. I'm just kidding. No, those are really, really good beginner budget tips. And I agree to an extent with the friend thing. So with the friend thing, my best friend is awesome. So I really don't have like negative friends to worry about. But I do have like certain family members that would be like, oh, I'm going somewhere. I'm like, I know I told you that I'm about to be on a strict budget. And they're like, but it's only, or I'll pay for you. And I feel like, are you undermining me? I appreciate that you're trying to pay for me, but the point is that you're not always going to be there to pay for me. So I'm trying to do something for me. I want you to respect the fact that I can't do this right now. And I honestly, knowing that particular person, know that's not what they meant, but that's just how I took it. So I think for some people, it's not that they're not being good friends. It's that they almost don't know how, or they're very, like you said, selfish, and they want you to go. They're selfish with your time because they want you to go and you can't go. So they're trying to find another solution when to you, it's not a problem. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just not going to be able to go, but it's fine that you're trying to find me solutions. But then there are certain people who really over time still don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you almost have to let them just see that I'm saving money. I just bought a house. I just bought this car. I just paid this off. And maybe they'll eventually around time, like, can you show me how you're doing that? And then there's some people that's just going to continue to hate. And those are the people you probably want to let go of.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to do it with my best friend. She wanted to go on a cruise, and I was like, girl, bye. Can't afford no cruise. And she's always going somewhere. She's always spending money. She's always doing something. So what I did, when I had a nice little cushion in my emergency fund, I screenshot it and I sent it to her. And she was like, wow, how was you able to have all that money? And I said, because I budget and save. And she was
Can
like,
I see yours?
yeah, she was like, I need to start doing that. I need to start doing that. So then, like, once they see what you're able to do and be consistent with, then they want to get on that train for themselves.
Right. Some of the time. Exactly.
Music
Show improve. Show improve. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, you might not understand it now, but one day when you need money and I'm able to lend it to you, you will understand. And that's why I'm doing that thing with my cousins where I'm empowering them to save, and I will give you $20 if you make it to your goal. And you know, we're working it out. They're younger than me. They're in their 20s, and I want you to get on this before I got on it. You be greater than me. And so now I feel like I do have to answer the question. So what my advice to new budgeters would be, and this is the last question, is don't be like me. And I'm a Virgo, so I have a tendency to be A-type personality and over analytical in everything. So I'm the type of person that will research and research and research and research and watch YouTube videos and read the books and never get started. Listen to me. Do as I say, not as I do or did. Just start. You don't need a happy planner. We definitely ain't supporting Erin Condren. You don't need a journal. You better go to the dollar store and get you a notebook. And I know you got a pen in your house, and you better get you some cheap little dollar store envelopes that is white. And look at Cassandra video, because she just write on hers, girl. She just laminated them suckers the other day. You just start writing and putting your money away, and you start budgeting. All you need to know is the money you have coming in and the money you have going out. It's that simple. And once you get the hang of it, use that to treat yourself. Save $5 every week. And then you say, hey, I budgeted for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Girl, they always on sale, Happy Planner, honey. You can get you a Happy Planner for $15 or less. You then take a little $15 after 3 weeks of saving, and you go buy yourself a nice planner. And you start planning, and you get your little stickers. Don't go overboard. You don't need all them stickers. Get 2 books. You don't need no more than that. Trust me, I got about 17. You don't even need that many. I don't know where I'm going with them. Do not over-exercise that right. You have the right to keep your money in your pocket, and please do so, and nothing will be held against you. Please just start. Like, that is my number one tip to beginners. Just get started. The longer you research and wait and try to have the pretty this, the pretty that, they almost got me, y'all. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I almost got me. I was like, well, I'm not gonna budget till I get me a digital planner. Sister, that's not how any of this works. You better keep on with that Google Sheets. Google Sheets is free. If you don't want to write it down, Google Sheets is free. You make yourself a formula and you write on the computer. They got apps for every dollar. If you don't want to get it, if you ain't got no computer, put it on apps. You got every dollar app, it's free. Put it in there. So many budgeting apps that are free. You ain't got no excuse. Everything is free 99. If you don't got money to go to the dollar store and get you some paper, you could steal some from work. I'm not condoning stealing, but you know what I'm saying. Just get started, okay? Get started. That is my number one tip. You will not be perfect. You will be on the struggle bus for about the first 6 to 8 months.
Yep.
And maybe you won't. Maybe you're just a natural budgeter and you didn't even know it. You might surprise yourself, but give yourself, like she said, some grace. Give yourself that grace to be a human who makes mistakes. Don't watch all these people's videos and be like, oh my God, they're so good. Go back. Take it way, way back. They wasn't always this good. Unless they automatically work in accounting and they just started making videos. But if you look back to their original careers, they probably wasn't always that good. But that, overall, give yourself grace, like she says. Just get started. Like I said, don't let your circle know, so you can either have support or avoid the people who are not going to support you. Okay. And I think there was something else in there. I've already forgotten it. My brain is on low today. We need to charge it on up. But you rewind it and whatever else you said, okay? They were all valid and wonderful tips. If you are a new beginner budgeter, don't worry. I'm working on something for you, okay? We're working something out this year for you because I'm very passionate about getting you started. Just get started, y'all.
You got it. You got this.
That part. You got this. Don't let nothing, this is my mantra for this year is we don't do fear talk, which is what if. We do faith talk, which is
you better say it.
Even if God has always got your back, even if you could figure it out, it always works itself out. We don't do what if anymore. We don't do what if, and we don't do I can't. We only do I do and I am, and I'm willing to, and I will get it done. Positive thoughts are a real thing. What
Yes.
you think. If you wouldn't talk to your mama like that, don't talk to yourself like that. Period.
That's a word.
So, unless your mama's mean, but you know what I'm saying. And you still should honor your mother and father. So, still don't talk to them. Let them be crazy. Jesus got you. But yeah, that is what we had today. I really enjoyed this little interview. Thank you guys. I love it.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do. And I wish you guys all the best of luck in 2021. I know this isn't my channel, but definitely put in the comments below what your word or your phrase is for 2021, because I would love to read it.
Yes, I agree. I'm just so happy that you came on the channel. I am looking forward to people to hit me up in the comments if they also want to come on the channel for an interview. You basically know the questions now. Be ready. That's probably I'm going to ask most people, unless there's something specific about you I know that I want to know. But you guys, I am so excited about this new series. This first episode seems so great. I'm so glad you came on, Krystol. Thank you so much. Such words of wisdom. You look great. You sounded great. You're doing great things. Just keep the faith, honey. It will all work out. 2021. If you made it through 2020, we're thanking Jesus that we are here.
Thank you, Lord.
And 2020, we made it through, which was a year of God's vision and not ours. But if you were paying attention, you would have learned what you really should be looking at in life. And then 2021, if you made it through 2020, baby, you can make it through anything. And we're grateful that we are here. We are a part of the people who made it. So I'm excited for y'all to see this. Make sure you leave comments down below. Like Krystol said, let us know your word or phrase or both of the year. Let us know what you thought of it. Let me know if you want to join. All her information will be down in my description box. Thank you so much. You guys know, as I always say, in order to be great, you have to be grateful. And I'm super duper grateful for you. Have a wonderful, blessed day, you guys. Bye.
Bye.